Hey people, so since it's the last day of May, I wanted to talk about self-harm, which is something that I have dealt with. So for me, my self-harm was cutting, because there's different types of self-harm, and I have done that since I was 13, and I am actually 4 months without self-harm and really proud of myself. I haven't had any triggers or anything, which is a big deal for me. The longest I've gone is a year, but obviously for reasons I've not gone further than that. But yeah, I'm really proud that I made it to 4 months, even though it's not that long. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the fact that you don't have to be a teenager to deal with self-harm. Adults deal with it too. I am 23 and I've been dealing with it since I was a teenager, but you can, either be a teenager and deal with it in your adult life, or not have dealt with it as a teenager and start dealing with it as an adult. And there are different types of self-harm. There's cutting, there's burning, using drugs, things like that. I can't think of all of them, but I don't want to trigger anyone or want anyone to start, so I'm not gonna name everything. But just know that you're not alone and that you can talk to someone, whether it be a parent, a friend, a therapist, principal, maybe, I don't know. When I was about 15, I want to think, I was a freshman in high school, someone thought I was cutting, and that was actually when I had stopped for a while, and I had not, and my mom didn't know at this time, and I got called to the principal's office and made this big fuss because someone thought I was cutting, but I was not, and it just made me want to do it again, because it's I don't know, for me it just triggered me, and I was kind of embarrassed of why you would choose me of all people, But yeah, I ended up lying to my, well, not lying, but not telling her that I used to or anything like that. And when I was 17, my sister had told me something, so I decided to tell her that I was self-harming, and she told her therapist, who told my mom, and I lied to my mom about it. And then I want to think around the same time I was getting really bad depression in high school, and I believe it was my junior year, and I tried to skip school, so we ended up going to a doctor. And I did tell my mom before we went to the doctor about self-harm. I can't remember if she found out because she saw scars or what, but she ended up finding out somehow, and that's when I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety and all of that jazz. And I've been dealing with mental health since, and I'm in therapy, and I'm on medication, and yeah, I'm doing a lot better than I was, and I'm in a very good place. But I just wanted to share a little bit about self-harming, and just know that if you are self-harming, you can always message me on Instagram or comment here. Yeah, I really don't want anyone self-harming because it can be very dangerous if you bleed out and all of that. Not to get into the details, but yeah. Bye guys, and please remember that your mental health matters. Talk about it, write about it, whatever. I'm really glad that, I know this is gonna be weird, but if I didn't have mental health, I don't think that I would talk about it. So I'm glad that I struggle. I know that sounds so weird, but I'm not glad I'm struggling with it, but that I know about it, and that because I have it, I can use my voice to talk about my struggles. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys have a good rest of a good rest of your May, because today is the last day of May. So yeah. I also wanted to show you that I got this tattoo. There we go. Yeah, this tattoo for my self-harming, to show that, you know, I am trying not to self-harm and that it's part of my story. So yeah. I also wanted to touch on the subject of, like, a lot of people who self-harm, they don't necessarily have to cover up their scars, but some people, you know, feel either like embarrassed or don't want people to see it, or, you know, don't want people thinking, oh my god, they're crazy. But if you see someone with self-harm scars, please don't like point it out and be like, oh my god, what is that, you know, things like that. Because I feel like that kind of triggers us to, like, if you say something negative or something that makes us uncomfortable, it can kind of trigger us. So yeah. And I feel like for the longest time, a lot of people didn't really understand why I was self-harming. And for me, a lot of things happened when I was 13. I lost my great grandpa. I went through some trauma that I kind of like ignored until recently. And then when I was 15, I think, yeah, I was 15, I was molested again. So yeah, I went through a lot of trauma as a teenager, and it was just like a release without having to say anything. And not a lot of people knew, except my friends. I had like really close friends who knew, but I don't think my family actually knew until my mom and my sister found out. And yeah, and for me, I always felt like when I started to have relationships with like guys or girls, I feel like really like, should I tell them? I don't want them to judge me and things like that. And I'm just lucky that I found someone who obviously doesn't like that when I do relapse. He doesn't like that, but he's there for me and talks to me. And yeah, he is very supportive. And yeah, I just hate like upsetting people when I do relapse, and I don't want people to be like, oh my god, it's their fault or feel guilty or anything. So a lot of times I wouldn't tell anyone. They would just have to like find out if one day I decided I wanted to wear short sleeves or whatever. But yeah, I've been doing better, especially these last 2 years. I think usually I'll like tell my boyfriend or tell my mom or tell my aunt. Those are like the 3 people that usually find out. And obviously my therapist. But yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit about my self-harm, and I'm actually in a better place with it. But it is still hard to like film and talk about, because it's like some people are never gonna understand, and that's completely okay. But just don't judge us for it. So yeah.